All right, there we go. Heels front, we're gonna push. Good, 8, 7, 4, 3, we're gonna tap it side to side, reach across the body. So we're keeping our shoulders over our hips. So our hips and the back side of our body are actually guiding the movement. Toes back, we're going to squeeze. It's a smaller range of motion. Belly is in, we're focusing on the back portion of the movement. 4, 3, knees up in front. Knees up in front. Start to add a little torso rotation. You can take the elbow to the knee, but keep the chest open. All right, hamstring curls in the back, reaching for the opposite hand, or opposite foot. I suppose you could bring your heel to your opposite hand, right? 3, 2. All right, march it out, or if you'd like, you can jog. You can take it up to a nice easy jog, or even just a little hip shimmy, a little pony. 4, 3, take the feet about hip width apart, up and down. We're just gonna chop some wood. So our belly button is pulled in, we're folding at our hips. So that wood is right between our feet. We want to make sure we're not going super big and arching back, just nice and tall. 4, 3, 2, we're going to go diagonal, high right, low left, high right, low left. Now this is where we watch our knees. We don't want to bring the knees in and do weird stuff. Other side, here we go, high left, low right. So we're working on our core, getting a nice good reach. 4, 3, 2. All right, forward step and reach. Forward step and reach. I'm gonna turn just so you can see. Think about taking a big step, big as you can, and pushing off to come back. 4, 3, 2. All right, now we're gonna add the corner to corner reach. So the legs and the hips all still point forwards. Our arm reaches across the body. 4, 3, 2. All right, backward step, open and close the chest. So with this one, again, I'm turning so you can see. We want to make sure we're not arching as we go back. Nice and tall. Let's take the arms overhead. Reach. I or Y, we never surrender. 4, 3, 2. All right, jumping jacks. I'm keeping it low impact. You can take it to high if you prefer. 8, 6, 4, 3. Hamstring curls again. So option 1, hamstring curls. Option 2, heel kick jog. 4, 3, 2. Let's go ahead and march it out. Grab a quick drink of water. All right, so for boot camp today, everybody, we have 1 minute of each exercise. I'm just going to double check and make sure I don't have anybody else that can't get in yet. No, we look good. All right, 1 minute of each exercise. Then we're going to rest for a couple minutes after we get them all done. And then we're going to repeat that 2 or 3 times. So remember, this workout, it's your workout. You do what works best. All right, the first exercise is jumping jacks. You have a minute. Time is on. So we are doing a minute. It is a bit of a long time. You can absolutely alternate between low impact and high. You can do so many low impact and then so many high impact. You can do half and half, your choice. So it is a little bit of a longer stretch. I'm talking just to distract you a little bit and to distract me. But as long as you're here and moving and breathing, we're good to go. If your arms start getting super tired, you can always try doing a clap instead. You're over halfway. So you've actually got about 20 seconds, a little bit less. Last 10 seconds, and then we're going to do a strength exercise. You have the option to grab a weight. 2 and 1. Good. We're going to do goblet squats. So a wide squat. I'm grabbing a kettlebell. You can grab a dumbbell. You can do body weight. It's great. So we're going to hold our weight. Wider stance. Toes are out nice and tall. Drop down. Come back up. You have 1 minute. Your time is on. So it's slower squat. So we want to try really hard not to go forwards. Do your best. Staying nice and tall. That may mean it's a slightly shallower squat, and that's okay. But for me personally, I stay really tall and I think about dropping my elbows between my thighs. So slow and steady. We're just alternating cardio and strength today. And just a random comment, Aldi in their ad has exercise equipment. Don't know how much they have or if they still have it, but it's an option. That's where I actually got these kettlebells a few years ago. Worth checking out. 4, 3, 2, that last one in there. Good. Set it down. We're just gonna jog. We're gonna jog. We're gonna sprint. And your time is on. You can stay in place. You can march. You can jog. You can do the Grover near and far or side to side. I have a few people that like to circle around their living rooms. So you can always just march. I want you to pump those arms a little bit, right? So always keep this as an option. Otherwise, just jog it around. You're over halfway. After this, we're gonna do some of our lunges. So trying to keep it pretty much mostly body weight, easy to do. Good, you've got right around 10 seconds to go. And then we're gonna do lunges. Again, body weight, or you can grab a weight. 3, 2, and 1. Good, all right. If you want weights, grab them. If you don't, that is absolutely okay. So lunges, 3, 2, 1. You have 1 minute. So you can do reverse lunges, you can do forward lunges, whatever you prefer. I'm gonna kind of switch it up. I'm gonna do reverse this round, and I might do forward lunges the next round. But always remember as well that if you've got knee issues, reverse lunges tend to be a little more comfortable. We tend to have a slightly better form naturally when we do them. So you're halfway. So nice, good, steady lunges. Staying nice and tall, making sure we're not dropping, and we want to make sure we're not pushing the knee forward as we step back. The body does go back and drop. 10 more seconds to go, and we're going to jump rope. 3, 2, 1. Good. Set those weights down. We're going to jump rope. So 30 seconds. Your time is on. Now you can jump, or not 30 seconds, a minute. You can jump. You can just do a little pony and a little hip shimmy. You can march, but I do want those arms moving. I do want the arms moving because we're getting our heart rate up, legs and arms at the same time. So marching, little shimmy, little side to side, or you can actually jump. Soft knees, whatever you pick. Start to feel these in your calves. That's why you can see boxers have really, really good calves. They do a lot of rope jumping. 15 seconds to go. We're gonna do deadlifts. And again, you can just practice this without any weights. I'm gonna hold my weight behind my back. That helps me with my technique in keeping my chest open. Good, all right. Grab a weight if you'd like. You can do this without a weight and just hold your hands behind your back. You can hold it in front. Feet hip width apart, toes pointing forwards, nice and tall. Push the hips back to touch the wall. Squeeze to come back up. You have 1 minute. Now the reason I do my hands behind my back is because if I really think long hands, it keeps my chest open and prevents me from arching, because then I smack myself in the backside with my weight. We want to think very tall. We don't want to go forward this way so that our toes are digging in and our heels lift. We push our backsides back to the wall, just like when we were doing wood choppers in the warm-up. That's exactly what this is the wood choppers. So nice and tall. Belly button is pulled in, very stiff upper body. Knees stay pretty straight. We're stretching our hamstrings, and then we're squeezing our glute and pushing our hips forwards, keeping our belly in. So it's all hip movement. 5 more seconds. Our last exercise is burpees, and you can do wall, table, chair, floor. Let's bring it up, your choice. So remember, your choice for the burpees. I'm gonna demonstrate wall, and then I'm gonna go to the floor. So 3, 2, 1. You guys all know these. So starting close, step back, hop, and stand tall. Now you can also take this down to a countertop and do the same thing, or a chair. Hands to the chair, step back, and bring it up. You do what works best for you. You can even just do the step back ones on the floor. Hands down, step back, step forwards, and stand up tall. You can step back, you can hop forwards, and stand tall. You have a minute, so take your time. You're over halfway, you've only got about 20 more seconds to go. So just listen to your body, keep it nice and steady. You can even just do reaching for the floor and taking 1 foot back, kind of like we do in strong, right? For those of you that come on Fridays. 5 more seconds. 2, 1, good, bring it back up. You have a couple minutes of rest. You have a couple minutes of rest, so keep those feet moving, walk it around. So, you might be thinking, why such a long rest period? Because we're giving our body time to replenish our energy stores that are in our muscles, which means that you can put just as much effort into the second round as you did your first. So, we are getting our heart rate down, we're getting our breathing down, which means that you can push yourself a little bit through the next round. So just keep those feet moving, sidestepping. Get any weights ready if you need them. And while I'm thinking about this and we're resting, I sent everybody a waiver and a health history. If you have any questions about it, please don't hesitate to ask. So if you run into any glitches, let me know, but you should be able to fill it out directly in the email. You should be able to just open that email, scroll down, check the boxes, fill out the info, and underneath the question about medications, which is optional, you can click submit. Don't have to forward it or reply. It automatically gets sent to a spreadsheet that I have. Isn't technology great? It only took me like a week to figure out how to do it, so you know, it's all good. All right, so you got about 30 seconds, and then we're gonna get started with round 2. We're gonna do our jumping jacks. How's everybody doing? We got thumbs up? Yes? Okay. All right, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Jumping jacks, 30 seconds. Or not 30 seconds, 1 minute. Why do I keep saying 30 seconds? 1 minute of jacks. It's because on Tuesdays we usually do 30 seconds, right? Yes. You can do low impact. You can even do side stepping if you want to get a little bit more movement without going to full jumping. You can even try just keeping up with the music. Sometimes that's enough to get those heart rates up. Low impact or high, you're halfway through. If your arms get tired going overhead, seal jacks, clap it out. I'm hoping I can get these muscles right here to loosen up. They're a little tight today. 15 seconds. Good, remember, you can finish up nice and strong with this last 10 seconds. Try to do a few full ones, even if it's only 3 full jumping jacks. 2 and 1, excellent. Grab weights if you want them, goblet squats. You can do a single dumbbell right at the chest, and that's great. 3, 2, 1, time is on. You're 1 minute. So down and up. Now as we go down and we go up, sometimes it helps to keep an eye on your knees. A lot of times what happens, we go down and then what do our knees do when we come up? Oh, we push. We want to press those knees out a little bit. So imagine you're wearing one of those circle bands that goes around your knees. So that big circle, that big loop, you're having to press the knees out just a little bit to make sure that you're keeping that band nice and taut around your thighs. You're over halfway. So nice and steady, sinking down into those hips. So belly buttons stay pulled in, and that's what helps keep us upright. 5 more seconds, and we're gonna go for our jog. Good. Set the weight down. We're just gonna jog. 3, 2, 1. Good, your time is on. Marching, jogging, whatever works. Forward, back, around your little space. It's kind of hard to tell, but this is my little space. My little wood floor here, that's my space. Because if I come over here, I run into stuff. So forward, back, side, side, in a circle. If you're going in a circle, make sure you change directions occasionally. Otherwise, you're gonna get lopsided. You're over halfway. Now, if you want to, you can even do an out, out, in jog, just for something different, or a forward and back jog. So forward, forward, back, back. Or you can do forward, side, back, and side, and draw a square. 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. We're gonna go for our lunges. We're gonna go for our lunges. So 1 weight, 2 weights, no weight, your choice, and your time is on. Lunges, lunges. So last time I did reverse. This time I'm gonna do forward. But when we go forward, we don't keep pushing that foot forwards. We stop and we drop. So it's a step, stop, and drop. So this can be a shallow lunge. It can be a small lunge and still be a good lunge. Yes? Everybody nod your head yes. It can be a shallow lunge and a good lunge. Good. About 20 seconds to go. Then we're going to go for our jump rope. So nice and tall. Your weight is still in that front heel. And we push off whatever leg is in front. So I push off to go back, or you use that leg to pull your back leg forwards. Good. Set it down. Going for our jump rope. 3, 2, 1. Good. Time is on. Jumping rope. You can shimmy, march, jog, whatever you pick. Notice my knees are like springs. They squish, but then they relax again. Even on the little shimmy, I do a little heel lift, and I still keep my knees nice and soft. Now you can always just try to go faster if you want. So Energizer Bunny, or you can keep it low. We got those arms going. Or you can try to clear a little distance if you want to make it a little harder. 15 more seconds. Think about doing a double under. Try to get your jump rope under your feet twice every time you jump. 5 more seconds, and we're going to go to our deadlifts. Good. All right, grab a weight if you want. You can take your hands behind your back. I'm going to keep them in front, but I'm not going to let my body do this. Yes? Time is on. 1 minute. So shoulders are down and back. Exact same position. Hips down, hips back. So I'm imagining I'm trying to drop my weight between the arches of my feet. So I don't want to let it go way out. I want to stay tall. Put it down right between the arches of my feet. Right between my ankles. So tall posture. Now you should not be getting all the way to the floor. You should feel a stretch by then, otherwise you may be rounding your back. So nice and tall. You have a minute, so lots of time to think nice, good technique and think about those muscles you're trying to work. You should feel a stretch in the hamstrings, little stretch in the glutes, but you should feel a butt squeeze as you come up. You should not be feeling this in your low back, because your belly button is pulled in. Good, one more. Awesome, all right. Set that weight down, burpees, last round for this, last exercise for this round. 3, 2, 1. And remember, you are welcome to do wall, table, or chair. You absolutely can do that. So this is wall. Table or chair would be a little bit lower, but we make sure that when we do this, we don't step back and drop our ears between our elbows. Even on a chair, we keep our chest over that chair as we step back. So think about going back into a plank position, taking it down, stepping, and then coming back up. You can even do a single leg going back if that helps. Going back into a runner's lunge, that is absolutely an option. Good, 8 seconds to go. Last one. Good, bring it up. All right, let's shake it out. Grab a drink of water. Yeah? All right, keep those feet moving. So we're gonna head down to the floor and we're gonna do some exercises on the floor. So we're gonna finish a round. All right, so we're gonna head down to the floor, grab a mat. We're gonna do planks, we're gonna do push-ups, we're gonna do glute bridges, and we're gonna do mountain climbers. All right, so get what you need ready. Instead of doing the push-ups, you are welcome to do a chest press. That is always an option for you. So if you're gonna do chest presses instead of push-ups, make sure you have your weights nearby. That's probably what I'm gonna wind up doing. So we are gonna do a minute of each. So that's a long time. That means that you're gonna take plenty of rest periods. So lots of rest periods. Don't have to go for the full minute. So our first exercise is going to be our planks. If you struggle with planks, you can always do dead bug. So you can be on your back and do the dead bug position, because that is going to work similar muscles just in a different way. You can be on hands, you can be on elbows, you can be on knees or toes. So I start in kind of a tabletop position. I drop my shoulders away from my ears, and then I shift my weight forward so that my chest is actually right between my thumbs, right over my thumbs. You have 1 minute and your time is on. Now you can just hold a plank if you'd like. You can absolutely just hold a plank. What I like to do is I like to practice going from a knee plank to a toe plank, which means I tuck my toes under, I brace my core, I press, I lift my knees off the ground into a full plank, then I carefully drop my knees back down, but nothing else changes in position. I lift and I lower. You can always add an alternating arm reach to the side or to the front. You can add a little leg tap. So if you want to progress and make it a little more challenging, there's lots of different options. Adding arm and leg movement means that you're now trying to also do a little anti-rotation, so you're working some different muscles. So hips are level, shoulders are away from the ears. 3, 2, 1. Good. Sit back, shake it out. All right, option 1 is push-ups. Option 2 is chest press. So if you want to do chest press, go ahead and flip it over. I'm going to do half and half. So I'm going to start with push-ups, and then I'm going to switch to a chest press. So get into a good plank position for our push-ups. So we don't want to have our butts back trying to go down. 3, 2, 1. Your time is on. So just do the best push-ups you can, and they can be shallow. You don't have to go all the way to the floor. I do elbows close to my body. We want to make sure that we don't do them where our elbows are directly out to the side. They're always going to be down just a little bit at an angle, never parallel to the floor, never level with our shoulders. They should always be at a little bit of an angle or close to the body. You're halfway, so you can always switch and finish up with the other exercise. Good, 15 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Shake it out. And we're all going to be going onto our back sides so we can do our glute bridges. So all the way down, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. You can do hands down, palms facing up by your hips. You can do arms reach for the ceiling. I like to drive my elbows into the ground because that engages my back and it allows me to use my glutes. So 1 minute, your time is on. So we're just gonna lift and we're gonna lower. So if you are driving your elbows into the ground, make sure that you're not using those elbows to try to help push you up. You're thinking about driving the elbows in, squeezing the upper back. So the only things that should be working is your core and your glutes. You can lift and lower. You can lift and hold. You can place a weight on the crease of your hips to add a little more resistance. So push through your heels, lift your torso, all as one piece. So neutral position between your hips and your ribs. You have about 15 seconds left, and we're gonna go for our mountain climbers. So feeling this in your glutes, pushing through the heels, driving the knees towards your toes. Good, bring it down. All right, we're gonna flip over and we're gonna do our mountain climbers. You are welcome to do dead bugs with arm and leg movement instead if you would like. You can do these on your hands, I prefer that. You can also do them on your elbows and you'll just take your knees to the outside. 1 minute, your time is on. So just come up into a plank, drive the knee like you're trying to drive it between your elbows. You can go slow or you can go fast. I'm going slow. If you need to be on your elbows, it's a little trickier, but you just take your knee to the outside elbow instead of right in the middle. So you decide what's going to work best for you today. You're halfway through. If you're starting to feel this in your shoulders, take a rest. It's perfectly okay. You can also carefully come up and do this on a chair or on the wall. Just make sure when you're going from lying on your back to a standing position that you take it nice and slow so you don't pass out. 8 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Good. Go ahead and sit back. Give yourself a nice, good break. Nice, good break. We got time for one more round. We'll drop it to 30 seconds though instead of a minute. How about that? It's a lot of stuff, a lot of time on our hands and our elbows. So give those wrists a nice good circle. Give yourself a short break. Grab a quick drink if you've got one nearby. We're going to go through that one more time, but we're going to do 30 seconds instead of a minute. All right, you guys ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, and plank. So 30 seconds. So plank, plank, or dead bugs, or dead bugs. So I'm doing low plank to high plank. Gives you a little practice doing a full plank. So I'm on my knees. Now I just lift my knees off the ground, and then I set them back down again. Good way to practice. 10 more seconds. So the only thing that changes is where your knees are. Your hips, your toes, your shoulders, everything else is the same. 3, 2, 1. Good. Short rest. Push-ups or chest presses. You decide which ones you want to do. I'm doing chest presses this time. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time is on. So push-ups or chest presses. Nice, good 30 seconds. So still keeping a nice neutral core position, whether you're doing a chest press or the push-up, which means our belly button is pulled in just a little bit. We've tightened our tummy like somebody's going to come poke us in the stomach, and we're preparing for that. 2, and 1. Good. All right, glute bridges. 30 seconds. I'm adding a weight. 3, 2, 1. Time is on. So lift and lower. So with weights, without. This is another one like squats where we want to keep an eye on our knee position. Sometimes when we do these, our knee kind of wobbles as we go up and down. We want to think about keeping them neutral, again with that circle band around our thighs. We've got to hold it in place. Feet are flat, but a little pressure on the outside of the thighs. Good. One more. Good. All right. Set the weight to the side if you've got it. We're going for mountain climbers. So roll to the side. And again, 30 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Good. 30 seconds, mountain climbers. You can do rotating mountain climbers this time if you would like. Take your knee to your opposite elbow. But again, make sure that we're not pushed back into a down dog position. We want to be in a good plank position. You can be on your elbows. And again, just take your knee to the outside elbow on the same side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Bring it down. Knees together, feet together. And we're going to sit back into a child's pose. And for this one, try to keep a neutral spine. I know not everybody can get their butt to their heels, but we want to try not to do cat-cow. We want to keep a neutral spine. shoulders away from the ears, and we're stretching the shins, stretching the front of the leg. I'm keeping my head off of the ground until my heart rate and my breathing improve a little bit. Good, let's bring it back up to hands and knees, and we are going to go into cat-cow. So knees are wide. You can take your toes together or you can keep them in a neutral position. We're going to inhale and we're going to arch our low back and lift our chest to take a nice deep breath. And then we exhale and we round our spine like we're trying to create a slope, and then we're going to push back and we're going to drop our butt to our heels again. Now we're going to inhale, come back up into cat, arch the low back, and exhale, round the spine, push the hips back to the heels. Good, one more time. Inhale, arch the back, lift the chest. Exhale, round the spine, and we're going to drop it back. Good, we're going to come up all the way down onto our tummies, and we're going to come up into Sphinx. So with Sphinx, our hands are under our shoulders, our elbows are close to our body, and we just lift up onto our forearms. So it's a lot lower than Cobra. So we want to keep our shoulders away from our ears. I almost think about pressing my hands and my elbows into the ground like I'm trying to pull myself forwards on the floor. If this is uncomfortable, you are welcome to just keep it down nice and low and rest your chin on your hands. So you decide what feels good for your spine. Good, bring it down. We're gonna roll to one side, and we're going to do our hip stretch. So your head is resting on your hands or on your arm. Your bottom leg can be a little bit bent for support. You're gonna take your top leg. You're gonna reach for the top of the foot, and you're gonna start to open up at the hip. So with this one, we don't wanna arch our back, and we don't wanna try to get our heel to our butt. We wanna just think, belly button is in, hip is neutral, pelvis is neutral, and we just want to open that hip joint, that crease right in front. Good, take that top leg, we're going to bring it out in front, we're going to straighten the leg and try to rest that toe on the ground, stretching our hip. Good, we're gonna roll onto our backs. Knees bent, feet flat on the floor, and we're gonna do our snow angels. So we're gonna bring our backs of our hands, the backs of our arms to the floor. Now, if you're not able to get the back of your hand to the floor, that's your goal, is to just try to relax. If you are able to, we're gonna start to reach our arms up, sliding them along the floor, like we're gonna come up into a letter Y or just I surrender. And then we're gonna slide it back down again. So if you use the lat pull machine, the one where you look like you're doing a pull-up, only you're pulling down, that's the movement we're doing. So our arms stay on the floor the entire time. And don't feel you have to get into a perfect Y position. I only get to about I surrender. So especially if you have shoulder issues, you're just kind of coming up to I surrender, kind of into a Y, and then back down. Good. One more time. Take it up and then bring it back down again. Good. We're going to roll to the other side now, and we're going to do our hip stretch. I'm actually going to turn so that I can keep facing the camera. So we're just going to take that top leg and we're just going to try to open up the hip joint. So it's less about trying to get your heel to your backside. We want to keep that pelvis in a neutral position without arching our back, and just try to open up the crease. So keeping that pelvis in a neutral position, make sure that when we do our hip stretch that we're not pulling that pelvis forwards, which is what we want to try to avoid. We want to try to keep the pelvis neutral and just open that crease. So stretching the hip, maybe the quad, depending on what's tight. Good. We're going to take that top leg and we're going to bring it out in front, and we're going to extend that knee, and then we're just going to try to get a nice good hip stretch. I try to get my toe on the floor, and that may mean for this one that your knee is a little bent, or your pelvis or your hip is a little lower or a little forwards. But trying to stretch that hip, you may get a little hamstring as well. Good, and we're gonna bring it up to a seated position. All right, feet together, inner thighs stretch, nice and tall. You have the option to pull in, and you have the option to fold forwards. Oh, I don't know what I did, but I definitely feel this one. Feels good, but definitely tight. Good, bring it up. We're gonna give ourselves a nice good cross-legged sit. Hand on the floor, side bend, reach. Other side. Party 'cause it feels right. I wanna party all night. Party 'cause it feels right. I wanna party all night. Party 'cause it feels right. I wanna party all night. Good. Bring it up. We're going to keep our belly button in. Ribs are tucked. We're going to stretch. And then we're going to round. And stretch. And now we're just going to bring it in front, hands to the shoulders, walk it back. Chin is in a neutral position. Good, bring it down, shoulders away from the ears, right ear to right shoulder, left hand reaches for the floor, open and close the fingers. Good, and switch, ear to shoulder, opposite arm reaches, open and close those fingers. I wanna party all night, party 'cause it feels right. I wanna party all night. Good, bring it up, big breath in, and out. One more in, and out. All right, everybody, you are all done. Woohoo!